All right, so if you are a producer, a musician in a band, and you know you probably have been needing to put together a website for yourself to be able to present your music to the world in a professional manner, this is the tutorial for you, okay? Just as the title above me indicates, this is how you can build your own professional, modern, sleek, elegant looking website in 1 hour, probably actually much less than an hour. And this tutorial right now can actually help walk you through this entire process step by step. So if you don't think that's possible, look at how long this video is below. You can kind of see how long this video is, and it's less than an hour, and we do have a finished website by the end of it. Okay, so this definitely works, and if you can follow along with me step by step, you can have your own professional, awesome website with a custom domain with your name in the domain and even a custom email address if you'd like to. I show you how to do that as well in this 1 hour tutorial, okay? But in order to do that, you do need to have a couple of things prepared. And before we get started, I get a very common question is, Jesse, do I have to have a professional looking website to be taken seriously in the licensing business or in the music business in general? And I always say it's not always necessary, but it's like if you go to a job interview and you wear just a regular t-shirt and jeans and the next guy is wearing a suit and a tie. First impressions make all the difference in the world, okay? So if you're trying to be taken seriously and professionally, well, professionals in any industry and any business have a website, okay? They have a home and a nice place that when people want to go learn about them, it's controlled, it's well designed, it's sleek, it's easy to navigate, and they can control it, right? Rather than sending them to, their SoundCloud page or their YouTube page or their MySpace their Facebook page. Man, that was a blast from the past. But they're going to all their social media networks, right? It does make a big difference to actually have a home and a space that you can kind of control people's perception of you for the first time. And not a lot of producers and musicians do this. They don't take the time to make a good first impression with their own website. So if you can just do this 1 hour tutorial with me, have a professional looking website with your own domain, you can really stand out in this business and get the odds in your favor of getting accepted by that music library or the submission that you're going for, or trying to partner with somebody that you're trying to partner with, okay? So, but in order to do this in an hour, you will need a couple of things, okay? Number one, just at least one professional picture of yourself. No selfies of you holding the phone, looking at yourself in the bathroom mirror, okay? Trying to get your sexy face on. I mean, literally, it can be your iPhone, it can be an Android phone. It doesn't have to be a professional camera, and you don't have to go pay for a professional photographer to come and take pictures of you. But just hand your phone to, a friend or a family member, and just get a decent picture of you, working in your studio, looking at the camera, smiling. Maybe you don't, maybe you want to look down, holding onto a guitar if you're a guitar player, holding your drumsticks if you're a drummer. Essentially, you want to sell the genre of music that you produce. So if you're an orchestral composer, maybe you sitting in front of the keyboard in a dimly lit, studio with some candles lit or something, more of a serious kind of a look. If you're an EDM, upbeat party kind of a producer, maybe you want to have more bright colors on. You want to be have your headphones on, so you're kind of playing the DJ role. So you want to make sure the picture that you take is matching your style, that matches the kind of music that you do, okay? This is all about branding, and continuity makes all the difference in branding, okay? So at least one of those. You want to have some demos or maybe even full songs that you're going to showcase on your website. They can be MP3 or waves with the site builder that we're going to put together. And these can be, a 60-second demo of a mashup of some of your music. You can have full songs to say, here's some of my, pop music, here's some of my rock music. Here's, if you do multiple genres, you can do something like that. Or if you just want to have, 2 or 3 tracks, or maybe even full 10 or 12 tracks that you are trying to actually shop to music libraries, you can actually put them as well on your website. So you have to have something to show, though. It's going to be a big bummer if somebody comes to your music website and cannot listen to music on your website. It'll be a big waste of time for them. So you have to have some music ready to go. And number 3, you will need to have a credit card, something to pay with, because these will cost some money. Not a lot though, okay? Because you are going to be getting a site that can be hosted. It's going to have a custom domain. And I'm going to give you a way to do that for 35 cents a day. So if 35 cents a day to you is too much, and you think, basically the change that you could find in your couch or behind your car seat, that's too much for you to invest in yourself as a professional producer or musician, then yes, this is not the tutorial for you, okay? I remember before I got my custom domain and my website, and I do use this website that we're going to talk about here. I remember that feeling of like, why am I not just spending a little bit of money to have a professional appearance when people want to interact with me? And the minute that I started putting together my website, it was so, I mean, I remember how silly I felt afterwards because I wasn't investing in myself professionally and seriously as a musician, as a producer, okay? Nobody will treat you as seriously as you treat yourself. If you don't think your career is worth 35 cents a day, you might have some bigger issues, okay? Maybe the music business is not really the thing that you should be getting invested in. Maybe you need to have other things going on. Maybe a little bit of therapy or something. 35 cents a day, okay, you are worth that. Your career is worth 35 cents a day, isn't it? Yes, just shake your head. Yes, it is. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have you follow along with me, okay? Granted that you have these things ready to go. If you don't have those things ready to go, maybe you can watch this tutorial at another time or save it. But if you want to watch through and follow along with me, that's how you can get your track and your website built in 1 hour flat, okay? So what you're gonna do is click the link below this video, okay? So that is, in all due transparency, this is an affiliate link that I am giving to you, okay? Why am I giving you this affiliate link? For a couple of reasons. Number one, I use this company. It's called Wix, okay? You might have heard of them. They are a website building program. I've personally used them for, I think, 6 or 8 years now. It's been a long time, and I've been using them personally for my website, okay? For the music that I shop to libraries, for when I'm trying to create a new deal with people, I personally use this website builder. So I have experience with it, I stand by it, and I think it's great, and it's only improved in the years that I've been using them, okay? And for you, though, you're going to get a 5% discount by using this link, okay? So if you go directly to them, no discounts, I'm not guaranteeing you anything. You go through this link, you're going to get a 5% discount from the plans, the monthly plans that you can get, okay? Plus, you're going to get hooked up with a free custom domain for 1 year as part of the plan that you sign up with, okay? So that's what you're getting when you click on the link below this video and follow along. So what I recommend is you click on it and maybe you open up 2 different windows if you're on a browser. I do recommend that you go on a desktop browser, not a mobile one. I don't know exactly if the mobile will translate as easily when you're following along with my tutorial, but get on a desktop computer, have 2 windows up, have one with this link that you're going to click on and one with this video playing, so you can literally just follow this along step by step. I'm going to make it so stupidly easy for you that you literally don't have to think about what you're doing. You just follow along and click the buttons that I tell you to click, okay? Sound good? All right, go ahead and click on that link below and let's get started. All right, so just before we continue on with the tutorial, I want to show you the finished product. I'm now showing you what we've done at the end of this 1 hour tutorial, okay? So as you can see here, here's our awesome, fresh looking modern site, okay? And it is at our custom domain. You can see johndoeproductions.com. I just made it up just for the purposes of this tutorial. But as you can see, we got our nice little mug there. We got our little, our name, a little description about what we're doing, some work, some accomplishments we've done, and then most importantly, our music player, which is great and it works, and you can put as many tracks as you want up there. And then you have your contact form at the bottom. And obviously up here you have these links, so if somebody just wants to check out your work, it'll click and they'll go right there. If you want to click on listen, it goes right to your music. So it's very functional and it's very professional looking, and it's well designed. Remember, the point of designing a website is not to have all these crazy features and spinning backgrounds and videos playing all over the place. You really want it to be just functional, right to the point, and have a good first impression on anybody who clicks on the link and checks you out for the first time. So of course, having your picture up there is very important. Having just a little blurb about you, not a book about your life, but a paragraph maybe about, you know, where you're from, what your objectives are, and how serious you are about doing music licensing full time, if that's what you're trying to do. I know that many people building their websites, you might not have a lot of placements you can show off yet. You might not have a lot. You could say, well, Jesse, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be showing off in terms of my work. I don't have placements. That's okay. You still need to have something there to show, okay? So if you were just in the beginning of your career, you could say something like this, where you've composed 12 tracks in a certain genre, and you can say that you've completed those and they're ready for exclusive licensing, something like that, okay? Or if you've gotten a couple of placements, even if you haven't gotten TV placements. You've gotten a couple of tracks accepted by a library, an on-exclusive library. No, nothing is too small to mention, okay? Especially if it's related to the licensing business. So this is a time to brag about yourself. Hype yourself up, right? On your resume. We all sort of pad our resumes a bit. This is a place to pad yourself up a little bit, even if you don't have something substantial yet to talk about, okay? Obviously, you're going to need to have that music ready to go if you want this demo or this a 1 hour tutorial to really work well for you. And that's pretty much it. Everything else, all these other pictures you're seeing here, they come with Wix. So you don't have to pay for these pictures. None of those things are going to be an extra expense for you. They're all coming with what you're signing up for. You just got to supply your own, your mug shot there, your headshot, and just have something that looks decent. And then you're ready to go with this tutorial. I am going to put a link below for this website. So if you want to go play around with it yourself, you can go see its functionality. But this is what I'm going to teach you essentially how to build something that looks like this, okay? If you're looking for something more expansive and fancy and different, this is not the tutorial for you, okay? You probably don't need to worry about any of that nonsense anyways. It's going to cost you a lot of time and probably extra money to do it. This is just about functionality, but it's a really great way to present yourself to somebody in the music business in any segment that you want to. Okay, I'm going to shut up now and continue on with the tutorial. So when you get there, you're going to land on this beautiful website right here. And you're just going to click on the only button that you can, which is this Start Now. Now, if you are not a Wix account member, which you are probably not, because this is probably the first time you're creating a website, you're going to have to create an account. It's very easy. You're just going to put in your email address. So let's just, I'm going to use some fake information here. johndoe123@gmail. You can literally copy and paste that down. You want to make sure you have a password that you can remember. I'm just going to literally use the word password for this. Is just kind of a dummy account I'm creating. And you click sign up. Oh, the email is already in our system. Okay, so let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. Somebody actually has John Doe 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I really find this hard to believe. Really? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was the magical one. Okay. So what you're going to do is you want to, down here, there's a thing that says skip. You can't see it because my face is in the way, but let me move this over here. You see that little skip button? That's what you want to click. Click skip down there. You don't need to go through any of that stuff. So what you're going to do now is have an option to either have the artificial intelligence create a website for you on the left, or it's going to ask you if you want to create it with the Wix editor. We want to get this done in less than an hour. So we're going to go with the left option, okay? Over here, let Wix ADI create a website for you. We're going to answer a couple of these questions, and it's going to create our website super fast, super easy, okay? What is your website for? I want you to type in. Again, we're going to keep all the variables out of here. Music producer. If you type in music producer, you should see an actual music producer link pop up. Click on that. And it's going to ask you now, does your website need any of the following? Selling online, taking bookings, getting subscribers, creating a blog? No. If you want those things, you can click on them, but not for this, because all we want to do with this website is essentially show off our music, present ourselves professionally, and let people see that we are taking ourselves seriously, okay? So you can just not click on any of those and click on next right here. What is your name or business name? So here's what I recommend you do. You type in your first and last name and music. Very complicated, I know. You can just do your first and last name. You can do first last name productions. I do think John Doe Music, first last name music, is the best way to present your website. And you'll see in just a minute why that is. So go ahead and fill that out and click on next. Where is your business located? Now, what I recommend is you don't necessarily put your home address, because this will be a public website. If you don't want a lot of people knowing your home address, maybe you just want to put the city that you live in. Okay, that's probably the better way to go about it. So I'm in San Bernardino. So I'm going to go ahead and put San Bernardino, California, USA. So you can skip this if you don't want to have anything. I think just having a basic city and where you are is somewhat good to know. If somebody's coming and finding your website, they might want to know, like, are you close enough to even have a meeting, or you're, what side of the country are you on? It's kind of important to have that. So you click on next. Now, now it's saying the ADI, the artificial intelligence, wants to learn about us, wants to gather information from public internet sources. If you have internet sources, it might find something, because this is a fake made up name that I just created. I guarantee it's going to come back with nothing. Yep, we didn't find your business. It's not going to find anything. And if it says this for you, great, no problem. So you go ahead and just skip to add details yourself. Okay. All right. So now here's where we got to make sure we have just some optional stuff. If we don't want to put this in, you don't have to, but if you want to, you can. If you use a logo, like you have a producer logo or some sort of a logo that you use already on your social media, you can go ahead and upload this here. Not necessary. If you want to. I'm not going to use one for this tutorial, but if you want to, you can do that here. If you have social media that you want to connect to your website, you can do that right here. You can literally type in, let's say you have your Facebook one, you need to get your Facebook link for your site there, and then you click add. You can put in your YouTube one. If you have LinkedIn, whatever it is you want, you can do that all here. You can also do that later in the editing process. I'll show you how to do that. But if you want to do that now, you can go ahead and do that now. Always pause this video if you need to. If I'm going too fast and you need some time to go get your links, go ahead and just pause the video. We have our email address. We have our actual address, which I just put the city. Phone number, that's optional. Again, this is going to be a public website. Do you want people to just find your phone number online? Maybe you want to get a Google Voice number that kind of gives a little bit of buffer between you and your real phone number. Maybe you don't care and you're like, I don't care. Anybody finding my website is probably going to be wanting to do business with me, so I'm going to put my personal phone number on there. I actually did that for many years on my personal Wix website, which I'll show you in a bit. I took it off once I started the Sync My Music business, just because now I have tens of thousands of people finding me online, looking me up. You never know. So I obviously, for my own privacy, took my phone number off of that site. But for many years, when I was actually just working on my music career, I had my phone number, which has been changed now, up there. And so I actually did get phone calls from people directly saying, Jesse, I just saw your website. Music sounds good. I like that you're working in this business. Can I hire you? And that was one situation where I got a $7,000 offer for a, what's it called? A commercial that was nationwide. And it was literally somebody out of the blue that had networked and found my name, went to my website, thought my music sounded great, thought my image was great, and called me up and offered this gig, $7,000. So definitely happens. Having that phone number can do that. Fax number, who has that anymore? Nobody has that, so skip that. So then go ahead and click on next. So here's the artificial intelligence, the design intelligence that is going to basically help create your site instantly, and you'll be blown away how fast it's going to create your site. Literally click on start. It's going to have all these options: midnight, cadenza, deep forest. Let's just go with minimal. Okay, so whatever you're seeing here, maybe they look a little bit different, but you will see one that says minimal. Just click on the minimal one and click on continue. We're going to make sure this is easy and fast. Okay, we're not going to get lost in the weeds and worry so much about, oh, well, this color is better and that color. We're going to just make sure this site is clean, professional, and modern looking. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Basics, but functional. So we're going to go ahead and click on create my website. And now when it's going to do its magic, okay? Now, whatever it pops out for you, this is sort of an artificially intelligent creator. So the outline of the site that it creates for you might look different than what's going to be on my site. If it looks identical, great. It'll be really easy. But if it's different, they have a different picture, they have different links, they have a different outline. Don't worry about that. We're going to go section by section and make sure that you can follow along and create all the changes that you need to. All right, and now you're going to see a lot of these pop-ups coming up trying to tell you about, here's how you use this, here's the sort of walkthrough the tour. Just X out of all those things because you got me today. I'm going to show you how to actually go through everything step by step, so you can, if those things are annoying to you, just go ahead and get rid of them. So let's start from the top of our website and go all the way down. Now, you don't have to obviously follow with the exact design recommendations that I do. Obviously, with a lot of people watching this tutorial, it wouldn't be good if everybody's site looked the same. So you can obviously use your own professional or just personal tastes, right? If there's a certain outline or look that you think is a little bit more representing you and you just like it better, go with that. The chances of any two people here having the same looking website is impossible because you're going to be having your own headshot, right? Your own sort of like picture of yourself, and the information will be different and all that good stuff. So don't worry about you know, websites looking too identical or following me directly completely. You just need to basically do whatever you feel feels right or looks right to you. Okay, but I will show you the sort of fundamentals to make sure that your site isn't messy and hard to read and, you know, all those kind of issues. So let's start with the very top. Anytime you go to one section of your website, you'll see these edit and design buttons come up on the left. And so that's how you can start to get into the weeds and start changing things around if you want to, okay? So when we click on the top, you'll see actually that these elements start popping up, and these things, like, you know, it's kind of giving you the instructions. Okay, I got it. Don't have to worry about that. Now, obviously, if you don't want your name to be there, you would just click on one of these little check marks, these blue check marks. But we do want to keep our name there, okay? We like having our name there the whole time, which is really nice. If you want to freeze your header, meaning that the header will always stay at the top of your website, even when you scroll down, you can do that. That's optional. You don't have to do that. We're not going to do that for this tutorial, okay? If you want a tagline, here's one cool thing you can do. So this little tagline, you can put underneath your name. Here's what I suggest you do. If you are a, let's say, TV, film, music producer, okay? Probably most of you guys watching this are going to fall into that. Let's say you're an EDM music producer, okay? I recommend you do something like this for your tagline. I would do EDM, TV, film, music producer. Something like that, okay? EDM, or maybe you do a couple of different genres. Your site is automatically saved. By the way, this will pop up just letting you know that no matter what you do with Wix, it'll automatically save your progress, which is really cool. Another really great reason why I love Wix. So there you go. You can have an EDM, TV, film, music producer. Now, if you're, you know, whatever, a band, you're a singer-songwriter, obviously you can fill that out to make it look like it fits the part. But the reason why I like this tagline is it sort of helps really narrow in who you're targeting, who you are, what business you're trying to be in. It really helps sell the point of, like, yes, I'm a serious TV, film, music producer, or we are a serious this band, or a singer-songwriter. It just sort of helps start branding you from the first second somebody comes to your website. It's a really good thing to have. If you have a logo, you can click on this and you can put your logo in up here if you have a cool logo. If you don't, which I don't have for this one, we're just going to click on that and get rid of it. If you do want to put your logo in and you didn't upload it before, you have this little edit and replace button. You click on that. You click on replace, and then you can upload your images. They do have some logos here, I think, as well. Free from Wix. Let's see if they do. Yeah, they have logos as well. So you can look through these. If you click on music, actually, this free from Wix thing up here, they have these ones. So you could actually do something like, I don't know. So you wanted this little record or whatever. You could have something like that if you wanted to. It's not necessary. Again, this is one of those things that only if you've got a logo that you really like. I probably wouldn't do one of these sort of clip art ones. It's a little bit cheesy to me. So we'll go back, and I'm going to just take off our logo, so we don't really need that. All right, so these are our menu items, and these ones will be changing, but you can't change them here. Here's one thing a lot of people, you know, they get confused when they start using Wix. Is you can't go like, well, I don't want it to say projects. How do I change it? How do I change it? This is not the place where you actually change what that is. Okay, you actually go to the individual section on your website, and that's where you can change it. But we're going to get to that, so just hang tight. We will get to that. So first, we have this picture here, which is not applicable to me. This is what their intelligence design thing came up with, but that's not what I want. So we're going to click on this, and we are going to click on edit and replace this picture. So you should see on the left hand side here this blue button, edit and replace. Once you've clicked on this section, click on that. You want to make sure that this has an image. Okay, so we're just going to have one image that comes up. We're not going to do anything fancy, no video, no galleries going through, nothing. Very simple, just functional, professional, right? That's why we're getting this thing done in an hour. So you're going to click on replace, and you're going to click on upload images up on the right here. This is where you're going to find your actual image. So I already have this headshot. This is not the best looking headshot I've ever had. It's from a couple of years ago, actually. But it is a headshot that we can absolutely use. So I'm going to go ahead and upload that. Once it's done uploading, you click on done. Make sure that it's selected here with your check mark, and then you just click apply. And boom, you've got your headshot there. Now, I'm not a big fan of the way that looks. This picture is a little bit too blown up and kind of big right there, and it's a little bit too much me. I don't really like the outline of that. So here's what you can do. If your picture is a little bit too much and you don't like the way that's looking, how it kind of came into your site, you again click on this little designs button. If you're not seeing these two things, it's because you need to click on this section. Then you'll see the edit and design button pop up. Click on designs, and now you can scroll down on the left, all these really cool ways that you can have it outlined. So we have, I mean, this one cuts off my head. You can see that doesn't look so good. This looks a little bit better. I'm more of a fan of the ones where the picture is on the side and the text is on the other side. This one cuts off my face, no good. I'm not a big fan of the ones where you have like something like this. You have your picture behind the text, because it's sometimes hard to read the text, and if I have some white in the background like this, it's a little bit messy and it can get a little bit weird and it doesn't look that professional. So I wouldn't do that. What I would do is probably find one where your picture is on one side or on top and your text is below or bottom, just separated. So I'm going to go to the one that felt the best to me, and I think that one was, yeah, I didn't like that one so much. Probably maybe more this one. I don't like that sort of background thing. That feels a little bit better. So something like this actually might be something that I would go with. I just kind of like that sort of outline. Everything feels a little bit cleaner and a little bit together. Let me see, make sure there isn't anything else that I would go with. Yeah. This one actually is okay too. Let's see what this one looks like. And you can play with a couple of them until it feels right, you know. This is where you get to be a little bit creative, but it's all automatically outlined, which is why Wix is so cool. But definitely get the ones that have have your picture in it for sure. Yeah, and I don't like that little background there. So we're gonna go back with the one that I originally wanted. I think this one works. Yeah. So we're gonna go with this one. Okay. So this one basically gets you started as long as the picture has a professional appeal to it and it doesn't look like a selfie, something kind of low quality. It just gives a sense of your brand, who you are. And you want to have the picture look as if it's somebody that, you know, people would want to do business with. So you want to make sure that you look approachable. So you can actually change any of this stuff. Whatever your website populated with, you can change that. So you can literally click on these things and say the official site of John Doe Music. I don't really care about the official site. I'm just going to put this John Doe. I'm going to get rid of music actually. And maybe right here for the subtitle, I'm going to put EDM music producer. Okay. And this is where you can do basically a 1 or 2 sentence bio. Okay, you can do something very, very quickly here. It doesn't have to be a long drawn on, you know, history of your life. Just a little bit about, you know, hey, I got started a couple of years ago. I've been working on this kind of music. My goals are for, you know, to create lasting partnerships with great distribution companies and libraries. A little bit about yourself, okay? Don't bore people to death with your life story and on and on and on. Literally, this is about all you need to do. You don't need more, okay? And if you have a button here, you probably don't need a button, only because it's not going to really get you anywhere. You don't really need to have it click towards anything. So if there is a button showing up on your site, you can go over here on the left, right where it says button, click on that little check mark, get rid of it. Okay, so this is the idea for this is just when they first come to your site, it's like, okay, this is who you are. Interesting. 1 little sentence or 2. Okay, cool. I got it. It's just a nice way. It's like a handshake, just to shake your hand and say, I'm taking myself professionally. This is who I am. I like to introduce myself in a proper manner. Okay, so once you have that in a way that you want and you've typed in a sort of little bit of a bio or whatever you've done, then you can move on to the next section. Now this one, I don't think the title, yeah, we're just going to have that as the welcome. So that one doesn't need to be changed at all. Sorry, I'm just talking out loud. So now here's one where we are going to change the header of this section. Okay, so right now it says past work. I don't like past. I like the either work or projects, or I just like, I don't like past. I don't know. I think this is a little bit looking backwards. I want it to be work or projects or just something that you have going. So I would use one of those two. Now here's where you want to make sure that you have the same word on both. Okay, so display name in the menu up here, it says projects, but now we've changed the header title to work. So what we want to do is we can copy and paste, change that to work. What did that do? Well, up here now it says work on our menu. Okay, so just remember that's where you're going to be able to change these words of the menu on the top of your website and make sure that they are the same. So when they click on work, they get to a section that says work. It's kind of nice, right? It really makes sense. And now here's one of those things where you can keep this in right here, but you really don't need to if yours is coming up with a description. I'm actually going to get rid of the description. I don't care about describing what I've been working on. I just want to see what it is that I've been working on. So here you have actually two elements that we can actually adjust if we'd like to. Yours might show 4. You might have 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you don't want 4 things that you've been working on or projects, so like examples of things you can be working on, let's say you did, you know, maybe you haven't done much, but you have, let's say, you know, 4 tracks that are ready to go. You need to put that here. I've created 4 tracks ready for exclusive licensing, EDM style, genre, blah, 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 right? Or maybe you've gotten some awards, you've gotten some sort of notoriety, some accomplishment, you've got a following, whatever it is you feel, these are the 2 things that I really want to show off, that I want people to know that I'm a serious producer. This is where you would include those. Now, here's what I recommend. You click on designs, and you don't do it like this one, where you have, again, text over the picture. This is even hard to read. This is a really bad design. I can't believe their artificial intelligence did this. I recommend going for something either like this, where you have the picture on the right and you have the information on the left, or probably what's better is you have something like, let's see if they have the 2 pictures. I think like this. So you have the 2 pictures on top with the text underneath it. I think this is a much cleaner look. I like this better. You can really read the text. You can really keep these things organized. This is a very professional, clean, sleek looking website this way. And you make sure no matter where people find your website, they will be able to read everything. It doesn't matter what pictures you decide to use, okay? So let's say for this one, you don't want it to say, again, you always just click on what you want to edit, live for TV performance. You don't want it to say that, so you come over here and you say composed 12 tracks. Maybe you don't want the underlining there, so let's get rid of that underline. Again, if you want it bold, italic, or whatever, but just keep it simple, all bold, just like how they usually had it. You kind of want to keep with the same design they had. It looks really good. Compose 12 tracks. Maybe on the subtitle, you want to click on the check mark so it pops up, and you want to put EDM, EDM pop. And maybe you can do this italic if you'd want to. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, it doesn't look bad. Compose 12 tracks EDM pop. And then here for the description, you would say something to the effect of produced, you know, mixed and mastered 12 tracks. Well, let's do EDM pop tracks, not poop tracks, pop tracks, ready for immediate exclusive licensing. You know, something like that. Pretty simple, nothing complicated. Now, if you wanted to actually change this picture, you just click on this edit and replace. Now, here's where you're going to use the power of what Wix can provide you. It's really cool because they have so many awesome pictures already built into their platform. So remember, you want to do it on image, not gallery, not video. Make sure it's on image. Click replace. And then you go to this free from Wix tab on the top. We talked about that before. Come down to music. Find some cool images that you think really represent what you're doing. Again, it needs to match the style. So if we do EDM, I don't know if it's going to pop up with EDM. Yeah, it has this one. Headphones not bad. So maybe you want to do something like DJ. Lots of stuff with DJ. Okay, so you can find this cool sound. Maybe like these DJ gears here. You click apply. And boom, you've got sort of, you know, this is just telling whoever's coming, this is what you have to offer. You have them ready to go. Maybe if you have some sort of an award or something that you accomplish, you can put that on this side, okay? So you can take the time that you need to make that sort of work for yourself, but it doesn't need to be extensive. It doesn't need to be, again, your life story, just enough to add some credibility and some sort of seriousness to your brand as a composer. Here's the most important part of your website. Let's make sure we get this right. Whatever is happening with your site, as you scroll down and you see the music area, you might see, when you scroll over it, you'll see settings, designs, and manage. So it has one extra option now. So if we go to designs, if you click on that, you might see yours pop up like this, where it's just one track and nothing else. You might see one as one track with the icon, maybe multiple tracks without the icon. I recommend you go with the multiple track, the one on the very top up here, the one with the multiple tracks with the image. I think having an image associated with your music is a really good thing. If you use the right image, it helps sell it. It's all about marketing, it's all about psychology, but seeing a great, awesome picture that kind of helps sell your music takes the quality of it actually higher in the eyes and the ears of the person who's listening. Believe it or not, it actually does work. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to manage. Click on that option on the bottom. This is where we're actually going to get those demos or those songs that we've already had created ready to go for the website. You can do an album, a single, or a playlist. We will do an album. So go ahead and click on create an album. And now we're going to title this album. Okay, so what's this album name going to be? So let's call this John Doe Demo or Demos. Okay, if you're going to have multiple, whatever it is you want to title this as, this is going to be your EDM demos. You could do something like that. Or if it has multiple genres, you just want to do demos probably, right? Version, don't worry about that. Artist name, this is where you put your name, obviously. Genre, if you have some genres you'd like to put in. This isn't necessary. I don't know, let's say they didn't have EDM, hip hop and rap and rock. I actually don't even know if this makes any difference at all, so you probably don't even have to do those. But if you want to put 3 of them in, go ahead. Album description, you know, you could do this something like a showcase of my TV film production work. So you could do something simple like that. It's not going to make a big difference, but if there is going to be an area where people can read a little description, it's just going to show something like that. Again, optional, not a big deal. The difference between you getting a deal and not getting a deal is not an album description or putting the genres in there. It's just that you have a decent looking and well programmed music player, and that's what we're going to create right now. Important, right down here, it says album download options, sale and download options. It says sell for a fixed price as a default. No, we're not selling anything. So you want to go down to this option, no downloads, okay? That would make sure that somebody can come to your website, preview your music, enjoy it, go to the next one, re-listen to it, but they cannot download it and maybe get it placed into something unauthorized. You want to make sure you prevent that. Some producers put their vocal tagline on their music, which is not a bad idea. Not necessarily necessary, but if you want to have like a producer name, just a vocal like, you know, John Doe Music that kind of plays once in a while in your demos to give you a little bit of extra protection, it's not a bad idea. But again, don't overlay it where it's like every 5 seconds, John Doe, John Doe. That's really annoying. And don't worry, people are not that desperate for your music to throw it into something unauthorized, okay? But maybe in the beginning, in the middle, and maybe at the end of a track, you know, something like that. Okay, so adding an image is a very important part. If you have an album image or some image that you've been working on for your music, you can definitely just use that. But if not, what I do is I recommend you go to this Free from Wix tab. You go down again to music, same thing we did before, and type in something that's going to be associated with your sound, okay? So if we did like EDM, I like that other one we found. This is cool. I like this. So something, just a nice, clear, clean image. Don't use somebody's face. There's a lot of these images, like if I type in DJ, there are some of these that have people on it. Even like somebody like this, maybe, as long as you're not seeing their face, I would say okay. But I would just use ones that don't have, something like this one has somebody's face in it. You don't want somebody's face in it. It's not you. So why is that person there? So if you're gonna use one that has a person, make sure their face is not there. Like this one doesn't have a face. It just has, you know, their hand holding onto a knob. But I would say do something that's just kind of more in line with what you're producing. So I would do, maybe this one's kind of cool, these headphone ones. And again, this matches what I want to do. So again, this is not going to be hip hop for these ones. I don't know why I put those in. Let's do dance, electronic. Yeah, electronic. Okay, we'll do those two. That is not what I chose. Why is that popping up there? Hold on a second. Go back to music. I chose... Actually, I'm going to go with that EDM one. That was the one that I wanted. Okay, I chose the wrong one. To make sure the right one that you chose pops up. So this is a cool looking picture. It demonstrates that I'm doing EDM music, that I'm doing some DJ music. So cool, we are good to go. You don't need to add links to other music platforms. If you want to, you can, but we're not doing any of that. Don't worry about anything else on here. We're going to click up here on Save and Add Tracks. Okay, this is where you need to get those MP3s or waves ready to go. You click on Add Tracks. Get them both together. You can upload them both at once. You can do them one at a time, but here's the thing. Do not go clicking around on the website while they're uploading and processing. I've had issues where the website sometimes stalls out, the tracks don't upload and process. So once you find them and you have them ready to go, or if you want to do them one at a time, click on open and literally hands off your mouse, okay? Don't go clicking on things, editing things. Just let the website upload your track, upload the MP3 or the wave, and let it do its thing, okay? I don't want you to get, halfway through one of your uploads and then it stalls out and stops processing. That would be a big bummer. So while we're waiting for this to upload, I'm going to take a quick sip of water here. Actually, I think I'm completely out, but that's okay. I know I have some, I thought I had some throat spray here. Maybe I don't anymore. But I'll be all right. So we're going to wait for this thing to get uploaded here and get good to go. Now, my tracks here that I'm uploading, I'm going to retitle these though, and you're going to basically be retitling yours as well to make sure that it's clear to somebody who's showing up on your site knows exactly what they're going to listen to. Okay, so this one, it was meant for one of our music partners in the syndicate. It's actually a music library that we partner with, and this is one of the ways that they want us to label our tracks. Now, a music supervisor or an editor or a music library, CEO coming to my site doesn't know what this is or why they're listening to it. So we're not going to leave this as hustle up full, with my first and last name. Okay, so we're pretending, of course, that my name is John Doe. So we can go ahead and edit track info. And the track name, we're going to call this one, maybe we call this, because this is more of a hip-hop mellow one. Let me hit play on here. You guys can take a listen. Right, so it's a little bit more mellow. It's kind of like, moody, something like that. So I call that the mellow hip-hop demo, okay? And we're just going to click on save. Don't have to worry about it. This one is, if you want the fans to only listen to 30 seconds, but you don't want to do anything about that, you really want them to listen to the entire track if they want to. So there we go. We've renamed that one. Let's go ahead and edit this one. This one, you can check it out. It's actually more hip-hop rock. Okay, so you can check that one. It's a little bit more rowdy. It's a little bit more up-tempo and energetic. And I do recommend that if you do have one track that's a little bit more high-tempo, high-energy, kind of more emotional, you probably want to start your playlist with that track. And if you have something that's a little bit lower energy, have that underneath. You want to grab somebody's attention right off the bat and make them want to listen to more of your music, okay? So in my situation, they are in the reverse order that I want to. This top one is the mellow one, and this is the energetic one. So all you got to do is over here, you see these little dots. It says reorder. Click, hold, and drag it up until you see them reorder, okay? It's pretty easy. That's it. Now you have your playlist, right? If you have one track, just use your one track. If you have 12 tracks, you can take your time and reorder them and get them all named however you want to, okay? You might need to pause this before we move on, but get those up. Make sure you can have the same picture, obviously, for all of them, no problem. And once you're done, you're just gonna click on this X up here, okay? And there we go. We have a music player ready to go with our picture, with our names, and you can literally, I don't think it's gonna work in no, it won't work in your edit mode. We can do that on the preview mode, but you definitely, if you're seeing what you just uploaded and did here, you did something right. So now that you have your music player all set up, which is the most important part of your website, we're just gonna do a couple of things to wrap it up, get rid of anything that's not necessary on your website, and then publish it, okay? We're pretty close here. So if you have other sections that the artificial intelligent thing added onto your site, like this one says scratching for soul. It's part of this watch button on the top. We don't really have any videos. We're not doing any music videos. If you do have music videos you want to include, you can obviously put them there. For the purposes of this tutorial, if we want just something to present to the music licensing business, we're not going to need a video section. So we just go down here, whatever we want to delete. We see these three dots in this circle. Click on that. You'll see a trash can. Click the trash can. It'll ask, do you really want to delete it? Absolutely. And now the cool thing is that you don't have that menu item anymore. So now you just have the home, work, listen, and contact. So it's great. It's really clean, really simple, really easy, right? So let's go down to the bottom. You have this contact me section. Now, some of you might actually have this map enabled. So some of yours might look more like this, where you actually have this map popping up. I'm not a big fan of the map. I don't think it really needs to be there. It's just taking up space. Who cares, right? Nobody really needs to have that there. So when you click on this contact me section, you'll see on the edit tab here, on the very bottom, it says map, and you can either change where you want that map to be located, or you just click that checkbox, get rid of it, right? You don't really need that there. Now in your contact section, just make sure that all this information is up to date and correct. That's your right Gmail account. That's your right phone number if you wanted to have your phone number on it. And the cool thing is this will automatically send you an email to this account email address that you have listed here. Okay, so people don't have to create a new email to send to you. They can literally do it through your website here through Wix, which is really, really cool. Very awesome. And that's another reason why Wix is really great. Lastly, let's see, if you wanted to add some of your social media presence. So on the very bottom here, you might see this little social media tab. You can then go and let's see if we can do our edits here. Actually, let's see. Oh, update your social links right here. So what we do is you click on that and you can actually enter in the actual URL of your Facebook page, your Twitter page, your LinkedIn page. I bet you can do others as well. I think you can probably do YouTube and other things like that. So you go ahead and just paste in all the links that you want included for your social media presence. And then you click on X there to get that in there. Now, if you want a different outline or a different design, you just click on designs down here. And if you want them, let's say, you know, I don't know, like this, or you want them on the right side of the page, it doesn't really matter. Something like this is probably, I put them up a little more higher up like that. I like that design right there. If you wanted to change this bottom, if you don't want it to say proudly created with Wix, you would just go ahead and delete that. If you wanted to, you just 2018 by John Doe Music. You know, just saying that you are the owner of this website. You can do something like that, which is really great. Let's see. And if you want anything else to be changed, you know, you have your top header here. You can always click on designs. Let's say you want to try something with a, a gray bar. You know, this is kind of different. I'm not really digging that actually. I probably would do something more like, something like this. I think is really, really clean. You know, this is just sort of the title of your website and here's the menu so you know where to go. And you can kind of go scrolling through and find out. But everything's on one page, which is why this is such an easy and awesome way to present yourself. A lot of producers have a page for their music, a page for this, a page for that. If you have it all on one site and one page, it's like people can find out what they need immediately and not have to go through different sections of a website to do it. So if we're trying to save people time and get right to the point of why we're contacting them, it's great to have all this on one page. Again, if you ever want to preview anything that you've done, you want to make sure, hey, is this all working? Is everything looking good on a real website? There's this preview button up here. You can always click on that and it'll actually pop up this really cool preview of your website if you want to check out how it's looking, okay? Now, if you ever want to get back, you're like, okay, it's working, I'm going down, you hit play on the music. Music is playing, second one. Okay, that's playing too. So everything's working, all right, great, everything's looking great. Your LinkedIn accounts work great and your social media. Don't click on the X of your browser, okay? Because what happens is you're actually going to leave the Wix website. You're going to leave the editor. See this blue X over here? Oh, you can't see it. I'll make sure you can't see it now. This blue X right here, that's how you get out of the preview mode, and it takes you right back to your mobile or to your desktop. Okay, that's what you need to do if you want to come back. Do not click on the X of your browser. If you click up here and exit out of your browser, you're exiting out of Wix as well. Okay, so it's one thing a lot of people do. If you want to see what your site looks like on mobile, you just click on mobile and it's going to take a second and it'll pop up this really cool version of your mobile website, and here you go. Looks great. Now you got an issue here, so you have some text that might be going over the pictures and you can't obviously see that. So I'm going to show you how to fix that real quick. All right, so once you're back here at the editor, you're going to click on this button up here, Use Advanced Editor. Okay, so if you're having those issues on your mobile where you can't read things and the outline is kind of funky, the design of it, you're going to go to Wix Editor on the bottom here. So it's just going to take a minute to load up this more advanced one. Don't worry, it's not going to be super complicated. It's very easy to be able to change how your mobile is looking. You can click out of this. You don't need to watch that video. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. See up here where it says mobile, you want to click on mobile. Okay, so you're going to go right here, edit mobile view. Again, we don't need to see this. That's okay. We don't really need that. Now that you see your mobile version here, you can kind of scroll through and see what's going on there. Again, for me, everything looks good except for these work areas. This is where the text is on top of the picture and I can't read that, so I got to fix that, okay? So this is a really simple, ridiculously easy fix. You see this little button on the left that says page. I'll make sure you guys can see that. Page layout optimizer, click on that and you're just going to click on optimize now. Look at that. One button and everything is fixed. Okay, so you should have this picture and the text separated now. Everything should be looking a lot more clean and easy to see. And that was it. It was literally one button to press, okay? Really complicated, I know, right? Okay, so now we can actually go to switch back to desktop. So edit desktop mode. And now that we have pretty much everything as we want it, we can actually go to this publish button up here on the upper right hand side. So I'll make sure you can see that. So on the upper right hand side, as long as everything is where you want it to be, and you're happy with where it is, you can always click on this publish button, and that's when it's going to take you to the place where you can now get your custom domain and get everything else figured out to complete your website and get it up and running here very shortly. All right, so once you click publish, it's going to ask you, do you want to use a free Wix domain, or do you want to use your own custom domain? You want to click the bottom one. You want to use your own customized domain. This deal that I'm going to hook you guys up with will give you 1 year free of your domain. But besides that, having a web address like this, which is, johndoe123.wixsite.com/website, you might as well not have a custom site at all. It doesn't look professional. It looks like you took the cheap, easy, free version, and so that also says how much you care and consider your own career and how seriously you take yourself. You didn't even want to spend a couple of bucks to get a real looking website, okay? So just do the right thing, do the professional thing, use the customized domain on the bottom, and you click publish and continue. And now it's going to ask you, do you want to get a new domain name, or do you want to connect one you already own? You probably don't own one, so you're probably going to have to get a new custom domain name, which is going to be your, johndoemusic.com or whatever it is you want to actually do. So we're going to click on the top one, get a new domain. And now it's going to ask you what you would like to sign up for. Okay, so which one of these plans you'd like to do. You can immediately write off the ones on the left. These are for e-commerce. This is for selling things. These are for much larger sort of operations. You don't need any of these. Even this most popular one is not necessary, okay? So you don't need any of those over here. So you have these two on the right. Which ones should you go with? Well, the reason why the cheaper one is not the best one is because it has Wix brand ads. So if somebody coming to your website will actually still see ads from Wix showing up, which still gives it a bit of that kind of cheap, free version kind of vibe to your website. And you don't want to be having ads pop up on the website when you have somebody coming and checking you out. So I recommend you go with the combo version. It's going to get you your custom domain. You can have the music player, obviously. You're not going to have any ads. And yeah, the bandwidth and the storage are plenty for what your purposes are. You're not going to have tons and tons of visitors coming to your site. You're just going to have targeted people that you submit your music to. And these prices are cheaper actually than what you can get if you go to Wix. If you go to Wix, you're going to see this is 11 bucks and this is $5. So you actually are saving 5% by using this link, by using the link that I shared with you below this video. So make sure you take advantage of that and get that, okay? So I would recommend go with this combo option right here. So you click on select. And now it's asking, do you want to do 1 year, 2 years, monthly? Monthly, no, you're going to pay a lot more. I would say between 1 and 2 years are your options. Hey, if you're planning on doing music licensing for the rest of your life or your career, go the 2-year route, because that way you're saving less. You can see, obviously, it gets even cheaper than it would be before. And you're going to be having a website. I've had my website for like 8 years, okay? So I'm not getting rid of my website anytime soon. You should definitely hang tight. And make sure that you hang on to your website for pretty much your entire career as well to make sure you're presented professionally. So I would go on the 2-year plan. Click on go ahead. And then here's where you're going to need to put in your credit card information, your name, your address, and all that good stuff. Make sure you keep this one saved, this check mark, save my credit card, because when you get your custom domain and you get other things, maybe even if you want to get a custom email address, which I'll show you how to do in this video, you don't want to have to put in this information every single time. So just make sure you keep that nice and clicked. I'm going to go ahead and put this in and pause the video so I can keep my personal information off the video, and then I'll catch you on the other side and I'll show you how to continue on with the process. Okay, so once you put in your credit card details and click submit, you're going to go to this next page, which is now where you can basically type in the domain that you want to connect to your website. So let's go ahead and go with our made-up name here, John Doe Music. And let's see if that's available. If it is not available, you might find that your first and last name with music is not available, or maybe just your first and last name is not available. Another thing you can do is Productions. And there you go, John Doe Productions is available. So I would first try to do just first and last name If that's available, great. Most of the time it will be, unless you have a very common first and last name. Then try first and last name music, and then finally first and last name productions. Okay, so that's what I would say in terms of the different combinations of URLs you should go for until you find one that's available, and then click this little green button, get it. And then it's going to load up here and ask you which one do you want to do for a registration period. So essentially you have 1 year that's included for free, obviously, with the membership option that I recommended for you guys. So it's one of those things where if you're going to do 1 year, you're going to do 2 years or 3 years, the longer your period is, the more money you're going to save. Usually it makes sense to just go with 3 years. If you're planning on doing music licensing full time, or you're trying to do something full time with music, you're going to probably be at it for a couple of years, right? To try to build up your catalog and build up your royalties. And you're probably going to want to have a website, just like I still do to this day, 10 years into this business. So whenever I'm given the sort of longer options to save the money, it's my career here, right? So I would say just go with the 3 years, save yourself the most amount of money. And you have that 1 year for free, obviously included with this. So then you just click on continue. All right, and then you're going to be directed to this page where you're going to need to fill in your actual contact information. Okay, so I'm using not my contact information for my own privacy here, but you're going to actually need to put in your real first and last name, your real phone number, really, that you can obviously answer. This is legal stuff. You have to make sure that you have real contact information for the, as you're going to be the owner of this website, this custom domain. Put your email in there, put your mailing address in. This is my old Vegas one. And then for tech contact info, keep that one clicked. For admin contact info, keep that one clicked. So basically, if there's any issues with your website, anybody needs to talk to you about anything, there's a way for people to get in touch with you. That's basically what you need all of this stuff for. So go ahead and fill all this out, and when you're ready, you're going to click on continue underneath. And now it's going to ask you about the private registration. Again, you can always pause this if you're still filling out your information. But now it's going to ask about the private registration to protect your identity online. This is one of those things you can or you can't. I wouldn't push you in either way. If you really protect your identity and you're really concerned about your privacy and your personal information, it's not like your website's going to be posting all of that information, but if somebody wants to find out who you are, like, there is a way to do that with these registration processes with a custom domain. So if you really want to be private, go ahead and get this $660 a year. You know, it's not a lot of money to keep yourself really private, but if you don't want to, it's just public. They're just saying that your information, your personal information, will be available online, that if somebody wants to get a hold of you, call you, maybe send you a letter, hopefully not show up at your house, it is going to be online. So if you want that little peace of mind, you know, just do the private registration. If that doesn't matter to you, you're not really that worried about it, it's not necessary. So whatever you feel is more appropriate. And then here's where you're actually going to put in your payment details to get everything basically wrapped up. Okay, so again, if you're at this point going, well, I don't know, that's kind of a lot of money and I don't know if I should, remember, this is your career we're talking about, okay? And with the plan that you have set up here, we're talking about 35 cents a day to run and operate a professional website that's going to help sell you, present you to the world, and make you look like a professional player in this business, okay? Nobody will treat you as professionally and as seriously as you treat yourself. So consider this an investment in yourself, in your career, in your music career, okay? And obviously we've already gone through and built your entire website, so backing out now is kind of not a smart thing to do. So anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and pause this video real quick, put in some payment information, and then I'll click on the submit purchase thing, and I'll meet you on the other end, and we'll see how we make sure that everything is working. And I'll show you also how to make updates to your website, so you don't have to now pay some tech guru to make all those changes to your website. If you want to put a new demo up, if you want to put new information up, you've gotten a new placement, you get to do all that now absolutely free, saving you hundreds, thousands of dollars in the future. So I'll see you in just a minute. Okay, so once it's all wrapped up, it's going to offer you to get a personalized email address. So again, this is one of those extra things that it's not necessary, but it does add to your professionalism and your credibility. So I'm going to show you how to do it if you want to. If you don't want to create a personalized mailbox, you can just watch this or just skip through this part if you don't want to do this. But this does add to that extra bit of credibility when somebody receives an email and it says John Doe Productions as opposed to, you know, johndoe@gmail.com. It looks, especially it's better than johndoe123 at gmail.com. It looks a little bit more professional and polished. So I'm going to show you how to do this if you'd like to. It's very easy. Just click on this buy a mailbox. You're going to just do one mailbox. You only need one, right? You don't need multiple ones. And I would probably, again, you're going to be doing this for a long time. You keep the yearly plan, save yourself the money. And you click on get it. And again, same thing. We're going to just put in basically the same information. If you had your credit card saved, it should probably automatically pop all the same information up there, so you don't have to go through this again. But I'm going to go ahead and put in my stuff real quick. I'll come back and I'll show you what happens on the other end of this. All right, so we've purchased our email address, and now it's going to ask us to set it up, and it takes literally 2 seconds to set up. It's very quickly. I'll show you. So you choose first the admin username. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put, you can put info at John Doe Productions. You can put John at John Doe Productions. You can put your first name. In fact, let's do that. I think that's a little bit more personalized. I like that better. I usually do that with my personal company. So I do Jesse at Sync My Music. So let's do John at John Doe Productions. Put your first name. Create your password, whatever you want that to be. First name, last name, alternate email. I don't know why it's populating with this thing. But you just give maybe another email address that you have that you're access to. So this one we would do the John Doe 123, your main Gmail account that need to get a hold of you. And there you go. That's basically all you're going to need to do. So you click submit. And let's see what happens once it gets done. All right, and so you have your email inbox ready to go here. So it's as simple literally as clicking on this button down here that says go to inbox. There's another one that says manage at Google. Don't do that. One quick clarification. My web browser did not show me this, but I know a lot of people have seen this. When they click on this button, they usually now are presented with something that says, please first verify your domain, or verify through your email address that you actually own this domain. So it's either like a blue or a green button. Just click on that. It'll walk you through the steps to be able to verify it. You must do that first in order to get access to your email inbox. It's just a quick thing that I have to let you guys know, that you might see something that I'm not showing you on my tutorial. Some people are presented with this, other people are not. I don't know why that is, but if you do see that, don't worry about it. Just click on verify and it should walk you through the process. It's literally a couple of clicks and you're done, and then you can continue on with this tutorial. Go to inbox. It'll pop up with the new email address, the John at johndoeproductions.com, whatever you had. Make sure you enter the password that you just set up, and you click next. And it's as simple as that. You actually literally have an email account ready to go, essentially in Gmail. But now it's obviously going to your customized URL. So it's basically as if it's just a regular Gmail account, but when people email you, they'll be emailing to John at John Doe Music, John Doe Productions.com, whatever it is that you got signed up there. So you can do a signature, you can change your image profile, you can do all those kind of things. Again, these are all these things that just help add a little bit of professionalism to your presentation. So again, optional, but you know, if you're already getting a custom domain with your email, you might as well do these things just to make sure you look even more professional as well. Let's go ahead and go back to Wix here. Back to the mailbox window that we had here. And now I'm going to show you how to make any updates you'd like to your website. So what we can first do is on this page, you'll see on the left, let me make sure you guys can see this. Yeah, you guys can see that. We can just go to, let's see, because it says manage website here, we just click on overview. And then we can always go to edit site up here, this blue button. If you're ever lost and you're on the Wix site, you have no idea, if you're not seeing this in front of you, you can always click on the upper left-hand icon. It's gonna take you basically to your dashboard, right? And now on the very top, you should have your premium website up here, and this is where you can manage and edit the site. Or you can do quick actions, you can go do here, you can delete it, duplicate it, transfer it, preview it if you want to. But if you ever wanna make changes, you wanna update your demo, you wanna update information, maybe a new picture or anything like that, you just go to this, you click on edit site, and the editor program starts loading up. Just takes a couple of seconds here. All right, so it's loading up here. Now, this website will look different from the one that we previously designed. Okay, so don't panic. I definitely know that. I had to switch between a couple of accounts with Wix to be able to show you guys this tutorial, to go through the payment process and all that kind of stuff. So your website should be looking like you left it. Okay, the one that I had did not look like this, so don't worry about that. You can ignore that. But just do one last look through, make sure that everything that is in place where you wanted it to be. And then if you think it's all looking good, you go up here to the upper right, click on publish. And it should say, congratulations, your site is published live. It should have your custom URL right here, John Doe Productions. We're going to click on view site. And there we are. I'm going to pull it down. You can see we are actually at johndoeproductions.com. It's working. You can click on stuff. It'll go down. You got listen. You can go to watch. Of course, some of these things we deleted. But you just want to make sure that everything's working and everything is exactly where you want it to be. And good to go. You can obviously go back and forth, and this can kind of be your preview as well if you want to use it that way. And then you just X out of it, and you're back in the editor. So if you ever want to come back in here, update information, anything about your bio, anything about you, your accomplishments, you can always add more, all that kind of stuff. You do this here through the Wix platform. It's very powerful. It's very easy. It's very simple, and hopefully this video got you through the entire process, and now you have a functional, professional website with a custom domain, and you really now can give that first great, powerful, and strong first impression to anybody you want to work with, whether it's in a music, licensing capacity with a music library or a supervisor, or if you're just an artist trying to shop yourself out there, get yourself out there, start networking. The best way to do that is have a great presenting, professional looking website, and hopefully you were able to do that with this tutorial. So thank you so much for following along, and here's to your success in the future.